Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. My apologies, everyone, for the absolute lateness and pushing the time back over and over. Reckless streams. So, of course, this is a reckless streams. Don't put it in the comments. Don't put it in the comments. Um, and so I could not engage or start the reckless streams until now. Clearly, so that is why we are starting so late. 2.5 hours practically. Past what I said it was supposed to start. My apologies, everyone. My apologies. Okay. So, yeah, I've checked out Miss Leona's video. There's another video I want to respond to also, I guess think piece will say in this case. And shout out to Miss Leona, Leona Worldwide, right? We're not going to state the obvious as of yet, right? There's a number of things. I've seen you guys in the comments engaging with her. Shout out to y'all. I will not, I guess, if she ever comes up on this, I guess she'll see this in her mentions that I mentioned her, and it'll be up to her whether she wants to listen through my commentary on her think piece about why she doesn't date black men. And once again, shout out to Miss Leona Worldwide. Okay, right. So for those of you that don't know, we will be reviewing I Don't and Won't Date Black Men, and here's why, right? And this is from a Miss Leona Worldwide. She and by the way, shout out to Azriel. So for those of you that's like Mr. Z, you dig the crates for this one. Where did you find this? Shout out to Azriel. Azriel found this, right, and mentioned me on this, and I definitely had to get a piece of this. Shout out to Azriel. Shout out to that brother. Thank you very much, brother. Yeah, and this speaks to a lot of what we speak about here in the Black Manosphere. Um, like I said, we're not gonna. We'll go through certain points first. This is Miss Leona, she calls black men crazy while saying that, yes, she does have a bad attitude, right? So first, Miss Leah, if y'all could see it from her facial expressions, if y'all see the way she speaks, if y'all see the resentment and the anger in her, Miss Leona has some real rejection. And I'm not going to speak I'm not going to really go into detail about the daddy issues yet. Yes, you can smell it. She mentioned it. We're not going to go there yet. We're just going to speak about what we can observe right here. Very clearly, rejection issues. Very clearly, feelings of being undesired by the black men she desires, which is very important to emphasize. The black men that Miss Leona might find attractive or appealing, maybe it hasn't worked out with those men with her, or those men just don't see her, right? For those of you that didn't click the link in the description box, I suggest you do. But Miss Leona is living in San Diego, right? And that speaks to much of maybe her interactions with black men. San Diego has about less than 10%, I think it's like 9% black people in San Diego, the city, and about 5.5% black people in the county, right? So, once again, this is West Coast, this is San Diego, this is Southern California. I think this speaks to much of why Miss Leona finds herself being an outlier and speaking very negatively about black men. I'm going to get into some of the things that she's categorically wrong on, like factually wrong on. Not Mr. Z's opinion, not Miss Leona's opinion. What she's factually wrong on, which, if you noticed, when she was speaking, she was hiding behind my observation and my experiences. Ma'am, your experiences and observations can be proven wrong. You cannot hide behind your opinions. I don't know why so many, and Miss Leona's not the only one in this. It's not just a black person thing either. It's not even just a black woman thing. There's something with There's something with Americans writ large that think you can hide behind saying, "Oh, this is what I observe," or "This is my opinion," or "These are my experiences." And your experiences could be one-offs. Your observations could be like one-offs once again, and your opinions can be factually inaccurate. What you find often is people hide behind these terms: my opinion, my observation, this is how I feel. Ma'am, you're wrong. And we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it, right? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. We're going to get into it. Now, so once again, Miss Leona is admitting she has a bad attitude. Okay, fine. She says she consciously doesn't date black men. She's dated about 10 black men. She's very successful, and these black men are not up to snuff. Essentially, they're not up to par. They're not up to the standard, etc., etc. Okay, fine, cool. Her her experiences, her opinion. Okay, fine. What is frightening and what is concerning, right, is what Miss Leona engages in next, where she commits to minimizing the plight of black men by saying she's never dated a black man who didn't talk about his experiences as a black man and how the man is always trying to keep him down. She calls this, and she says this is sickening. Now, I want to be very clear why this is frightening. What we have now fully, and you've watched this throughout multiple platforms now. You watched this with Real Talk with Yanni. You watched this with Chrissy. You watched this with Paris Malone. You watched this with Lexus Exodus. You've watched this with Cynthia G. You're watching this with Miss Leona now. Is black women who have a couple of dollars minimizing the plight of black men and minimizing anti-blackness racism directed towards black people writ large, black men specifically. This is frightening. So what you have are the professional managerial class of black women, oftentimes outliers, petite bourgeoisie of black women, who by circumstance or by upbringing, etc., can't make it work with black men. They don't want to admit, look, I'm an outlier. I had different experiences. I was shipped to white schools, or I have mainly white friends. I don't speak quote unquote black. And when I say don't speak black, I'm saying I don't have traditionally black experiences. And so I just struggle to connect with black people writ large, but black men. And so I find myself gravitating to white folks or non-black folks, or there's a disconnect between me and black men. Instead of having an honest conversation and looking in the mirror, what these people do, black women like Miss Leona, is they commit to insulting black men, belittling black men, minimizing black men's plight. What is also frightening about a Miss Leona, as a professional black woman who says she's successful and she's very independent, cool, is women like Miss Leona oftentimes are rubbing elbows with and rubbing something else with non-black men. And they have these attitudes towards black men. And yes, they speak about black men just like she did in front of and to non-black men. Oftentimes, they're non-black sexual partners. Uh-oh. Right? This is a black woman who weaponizes intersectionality to benign neglect black men and black boys and their plight, and how anti-blackness works on and functions on black people writ large, but black men specifically. Essentially, what Miss Leona is saying here is, I'm a black plus woman. I'm black woman. I am a black woman. And because I am a black woman and I am successful in this anti-black society, so you say black men, I don't know what you're talking about because I'm successful as a black woman. If I'm successful as a black woman, why aren't you successful as a black woman? Excuse me, as a black man. Let's say that again. If I'm successful as a black woman, why aren't you successful as a black man? I have more strikes against me than you do. So they use intersectionality to minimize the plight of black men, to minimize what black men are saying. As you can see here, Miss Leona mocked black men. She definitely mocked the black men that she's dated or that she's encountered. What she's essentially saying is, that anti-black stuff, that ain't real. Look at where I am. And you're a black man. You should actually be more successful than me. Now let's pause right here. For all of those initiated, for all of those subscribers of Mr. Z, all of the subscribers of the Black Manosphere, you already know what Mr. Z is about to say. But Miss Leona, here's the problem. Black men earn more than black women in America. That's a fact. Miss Leona, black men earn more than black women in America. There are about 2 million less black men than black women in America, and still, there are 500,000, yes, 500,000 at least, 500,000 black men that earn $50,000 a year or more than there are black women that earn $50,000 a year or more. Now, not just saying 50,000. Let me be very clear. Every income bracket from 50,000 on up, there are more black men than black women. Even though overall in America there are about 2 million less black men than black women. Explain that, Miss Leona. So for working black men and working black women, there are more black men that are earning $50,000 a year on up than there are black women. Miss Leona, the problem that we have here is that you may not be looking in the mirror and being honest with yourself that you are just possibly, probably, and you showed it here, just a broken, hurt, daddy issue. Now we're getting into the obvious. Daddy issue, rejected black woman. You feel rejected. You feel unwanted. You feel undesirable. You feel like you're better than the black men who may not find you desirable, who may not find you attractive, who may not find you appealing. And you take issue with that. And you're incensed by it. The black men you think you're better than, right, don't even find you appealing. Imagine that. Imagine that. I'm better than you Negroes, and you have the unmitigated gall to make fun of me and how I look and use negative black women stereotypes against me. I'm better than you. But here's the thing, Miss Leona. Writ large, black men. Oh, and let me be very clear when I said black men earn more than black women. You later on spoke about going to the gym and not seeing any black men in there. Madam, black women are the most obese group of people in America. That's not just a negative stereotype. That's factually accurate. Right? That is factually accurate. Black men are are more fit than black women. What are you talking about, ma'am? I didn't just everything I'm saying to you is like factually accurate. Not only that, later on you speak about you continue on and kind of drone on. I want to be very clear. Let me run through the numbers for you or run through the stats for you. Black men employ more people than black women. In other words, black men's businesses aren't just sole proprietorships where they employ only themselves. Black men employ more people than black women. Black men have better credit scores than black women. Black men earn more money than black women. Black men put in more hours at work than black women. Right? There are more black billionaires in America and outside of America. There are more black men millionaires than black women, both in and outside of America. Madam, these are like provable facts. This is Mr. Z is not just pulling this out of his ass, madam. Miss Leona, you don't seem that old. The problem here is that you're using old, tired rhetoric, old negative stereotypes about black men that have been proven inaccurate and wrong. It's just factually inaccurate, ma'am. Just say that it's not working with you and black men, and you have decided to. And for those of you that didn't listen, Miss Leona says she dates foreign men now. What happened to the white guys? You're in San Diego. There should be white guys galore. They should be falling from the ceiling. Ah, but you're in San Diego, though. Ah, them white liberal dudes ain't checking for you like that, huh? Uh-oh. What happened? Huh? Black men are the ones who don't value black women, huh? What happened to all of those Asian dudes and white dudes and maybe even some Latino dudes in San Diego? Huh? Madam, it's simple. You have daddy issues and you also feel rejected and feel undesired by black men. And instead of you coming on and speaking to that, you summarily decided to defecate on black men and say why you don't date them and it was all character flaw in black men. But of course, but of course, right? Huh. Miss Leona speaks about black men being insecure and being crabs in a bucket. I said crabs, excuse me, crabs in a bucket, right? And she's laying on the anti-black rhetoric and stereotypes. She's laying it on real thick, really, really thick, right? Huh. She's being real heavy with the anti-black stereotypes. Miss Leona also goes on to call black men feminine, while also speaking as if black men are these patriarchal, aspiring for patriarchy, while also being feminine. Ma'am, choose one. So are black men hyper patriarchal to make up for not being white men and being patriarchal, or are black men feminine? Huh? Which, by the way, is a very old, this is beyond Jim Crow. This is a very old racist anti-black trope that she's using here when she speaks about black men being feminine. This is what slavers were saying about black men. Literally, like, notice something here. When black people, but black women specifically, when they get angry at the opposite sex, at another sexual orientation, they pull out their trusty, dusty, anti-black, white supremacist, KKK neo-Nazi book and just start reading off the insults. Huh? They go right to, what have racist white folks said about black people? That's what I'm gonna say. Right? I'm gonna tell them they right. This is why I called it what I called. This is why my title is what it is. Right? The racist, please save me, white man, mating call. Huh. This is very, very insulting to black men. And yes, she did also take a couple of jabs at black women that are with black men. Oh, you better believe it. Huh? Huh. So Miss Leona once again describes what would equate to patriarchal black men while also calling black men feminine, which is interesting because the social scientists, the people that do this type of work for a living, the people that have decades of research on their side, they say that black men are the most egalitarian men, definitely in America, and the most liberal men in America. You can see that off of black men's voting patterns. And by far the most liberal men in America. As a matter of fact, black men are more for, air quotes, female rights than white women are. Wow. But once again, Miss Leona, with her negative rhetoric, her anti-blackness, she can't help it. Miss Leona, from what I can see about you, you're way too young to be using old racist anti-black stereotypes against black men that are actually been proven to be factually inaccurate. If you're struggling to end up with the type of black man that you find appealing, madam, just say that. Because the overweight fat stereotype, they're not in the gym stereotype, all of these things are like factually, black men are healthier than black women. There you go. Huh? Black men earn more than black women. See, this is what I mean when y'all hear Z speak about these kind of traumatized weirdo outliers doing way, way, way too much talking about the black man, black woman intersectional dynamics. Right? This is an example of it. Miss Leona also has another think piece I want to cover probably later on today, maybe tonight, if not tomorrow, where she speaks about essentially the whole world revolves around women. Okay, cool. So we have like the Earth Mother Goddess Queen of the Universe talk also. You couple that with this, and it just speaks to much of the reason why Miss Leona struggles. Miss Leona, you're going to be hard pressed. Forget just black men, you already have. You're going to be hard pressed to meet any man who will earn as much as you claim you do, right? Or more, who's also going to kiss your ass and feel like not just love you, not just be in love with you, but feel like the world revolves around you. That you are the center of the universe. That's going to be a hard ask. That's a hard ask, ma'am. And this, I would argue, Miss Leona, is not just something that you are dealing with, but many high achieving women, but particularly black women. You want someone, preferably that earns more than you, that has high status, that is well disciplined, that is accomplished, that is educated, but you want them to also appreciate that you are better than them. Oh, and so you think that's just a black thing. And when I say you, madam, I'm speaking about the black women like you and the ones that you represent, you and your ilk. And so y'all date out, and y'all run right into that wall, bow, that other men operate even worse than what you thought black men do. You just don't have the ovaries to say it. That's why you date foreign men. Why aren't you dating American white men, ma'am? Ooh. Why aren't you dating Asian American men, ma'am? Or Latino American men? And still keep that same financial requirement that you have, madam. Why is it foreign men, and what type of foreign men is it? Huh? You said you're independent, fine. You're doing well, fine. Right? That's great. You yourself called yourself mouthy. You, madam, assuming you make 6 figures and above. Where are all the men? I didn't just say black men. You already said you don't date them. You forgot about them. Cool. Where are all the men that are part of the top 15, 10% of income earners in America? That's about 100,000-ish and above. Cool. Show me all of the men that bust their ass, either went to school, college degree or not, trade school, might have been in their career field for a few years, maybe longer, that are looking for women that are admittedly mouthy, which really means they have an insane attitude and they don't shut up. Huh? Where are all those Latino men and Asian men and white men? You said you don't date black men, so I won't even mention them. Where are all of those men, madam, that want someone that admits that they have an attitude, I'm going to get to it in a minute, and that they are mouthy? Where are all of those men that are looking for women like that, madam? Huh? Ooh, it's looking bad. Ooh, it's looking bad. Right? Huh. So, mid-sentence, Miss Leona says, black men are lazy, hella lazy. She says, black men are lazy, hella lazy. Madam, Miss Leona, if black men are lazy, hella lazy, your words, how is it that these lazy, hella lazy men, once again, earn more than black women? Okay, there's that. Have better credit scores than black women. That goes to what you were saying, that they're always in debt. Your words, madam. Your words. Black men have better credit scores than black women, but yet they're always in debt. The math ain't mathin'. Okay, cool. Black men employ more people than black women. You said they're lazy. They're hella lazy. Apparently, there's at least enough black men that employ more people than black women do. So that means you and other black women shouldn't be struggling and fighting each other over these men. There's more of them than there are of you and other women like you, madam. There are more black men that earn 50,000 to 60,000, 60,000 to 70,000, 100,000 to 150, 150 to a quarter million, a million plus. There are more black men in all of those income brackets, madam. But you said black men are lazy, hella lazy. Uh-oh, it ain't looking good, right? Right? Huh. Black men are not only married more than black women, Miss Leona. Black men are both married more than black women and interracially married more than black women. Black men also have fewer children than black women. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Black men have fewer children out of wedlock than black women. Yikes! Ooh. Madam, you were the one that was speaking about discipline, etc., etc. You were. Once again, Miss Leona, you're too young to be using these old, at least for Xers, they spend much of their life without easily accessible information with high-speed internet, so they can afford, they can at least use the excuse of not knowing. Xer black women, they can at least use the excuse of not knowing, especially about mid-90s and earlier. About mid-90s and earlier, they can use that excuse. Madam, we are in 2024, 2024. Why are you, Miss Leona, using this old, tired rhetoric that's been proven wrong? You can't help it now, can you? Oh, daddy issues much? Miss Leona, we've encountered women like you before. Weirdo, traumatized outliers. Mad at the world because the world won't bend to their will, so they defecate and insult the closest persons to them. Black men. Successful black women that are mad that the world won't bend to their will, so they throw a temper tantrum. And who do they direct all of that energy to? Black men. But of course, cowards you are. Madam, black men can do this. Believe it or not, black men can do this. Black men can speak about anti-black society, racism, anti-black misandry, you know what you're engaging in here. How the society attacks black men, and also, guess what? Wake up the next day and go to work. Oops. Wake up the next day and still draw those business plans. Yikes. Wake up the next day and still go to trade school. Oh, wake up the next day and still go to grad school or undergrad. Yikes. Wake up the next day and still continue to write that book for their PhD program. Oh, wake up the next day and still do their practices for piano or go to their mixed martial arts lessons, etc., etc. Yes, ma'am, we can do all of that. You want to know how you know? Because we're already doing it. Uh-oh. So Miss Leona says, essentially, because she can't make it work with black men, she's going to regurgitate anti-black racist talking points. She is going to use all of the anti-black misandrist racist talking points against black men because she can't make it work with black men. And in engaging in that, she's minimizing the plight of black men. Essentially, and she said it, black men talk to her about anti-blackness and she says, wait a minute, those are all excuses because of look where I am and look at how well I'm doing in my life. And the free men in the north said to the slaves in the south, what? Uh-oh. Slavery, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm free. Huh? I don't know. What? Whips and chains? I don't know what you're speaking about. I'm from Massachusetts. You're the one in Alabama. Yeah, that's it. Huh? Wow. So to the FD signifiers of the world, as I said, brother, this ain't no little internet talk. What you saw from Miss Leona is the same thing you saw from Jasmine Theodora. These women are saying it without saying it. Look, man, I just want to be with a white dude who doesn't have to deal with being black. Ooh. I just want to end up with a man who does not, that I don't have to worry about him being black in the tax on black men in America. Excuse me, Miss Leona, you could have just said that. Huh? You said you date foreign men. What happened to white men in America? Uh-oh. Huh? They're at least 30 some odd percent of the population. What happened? Huh? And Detroit says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And remember, this is a reckless stream, so okay, in any minute. Detroit says black women overweight and obesity is over 70%. And I guess because Miss Leona is one of the sisters that might be a little bit more spelt, and she goes to the gym and she works out. That's great. And she is not part of that stereotype. I guess what she's saying is it doesn't matter now. Talk about being myopic. So once again, these outliers. So you have a black woman who apparently is doing well financially, is very independent, is earning good money, it works out, is healthy. And so what she's saying is no black men are on her level because she's one of the few black women that's part of this, excuse me, outlier group. Right? What was the numbers again, Compassionate? Some out of 7 million or some odd black women workers, like 5 million earn less than $50,000 a year. I guess Miss Leona is above that 50,000, so now she's just talking crap to black men. And she said it too. When black men date me, they realize they can pop ish and they can whatever she said other than that. But essentially, I humbled them with my presence because I'm not one of the negative stereotypes. Madam, you admitted that you're mouthy and you have an attitude, though. Talk about stereotypes. Oops. And let's get into that. Oh, this is one of the best parts, right? She says she's not very easy to date, right? She's not very easy to date. She's mouthy and she has an attitude. Oh, y'all heard right? She's not easy to date. She's mouthy and she has an attitude. Oh boy. Huh? Oh boy. This is what we're speaking about. And thank you for being honest there, Miss Leona. I'm going to enjoy you posting on your channel and hopefully you meet someone who enjoys that and who actually loves that. Clearly you're not dating black men, you're dating foreign men, so hopefully you meet someone. Someone in the comments, in her comments, said something along, you've been dating out for what, 3 years or something like that. Where's your wedding ring? And she says, I'm not dating for marriage, I'm dating for fun. Well, what the hell? What are you complaining about? Miss Leona, if you are dating for fun, then what's the complaint? You're not dating for anything meaningful at the end. You are not dating to have a family at the end, or you said you're dating for fun. Well, enjoy the fun. Enjoy the ups and downs. Enjoy the bum Negroes that are dating you because they're dating for fun. Did you think about that response before you responded? What's your complaint? You're dating for fun. So you're not on a time constraint. You said you're dating for fun, madam. You said that. Huh? If you're dating for fun, then what's the problem? You're not trying to beat the biological clock, hurry up, get married, have children, and enjoy your husband. You do not care about that. What's the problem here? You have all the time in the world, madam. You're dating for fun. So go through the ups and downs and the roller coaster of the dating world. Huh? Right? Only logical. You're right about that. I thought that too. I ain't gonna highlight it, but I thought it too. Dating for fun and you're dating foreign men and you've been dating for 3 years, no wedding ring. Ma'am. Once again, this is what happens when apparently obviously you have a strained relationship with your father. You essentially said that already. Um, you have daddy issues, you have essentially expressed that already. Madam, this is what happened when you don't have a close connection with the man that's looking out for you and it's a platonic relationship. Huh? You don't have a man that's telling you the difficult and hard truths, which is okay. You don't have to have that. That's why you made this think piece and you spoke out your ass. Oh, I forgot. These are your observations on your personal experiences, even though much of them, if not all of them, go against the numbers. Ma'am, if you doubt me, look it up yourself. Black men earn more than black women. Black men are more married than black women. Black men are more interracially married than black women. Black men employ more people than black women. Black men have better credit scores than black women, etc., etc., etc. Black men are more fit than black women. What's killing black men than stress? And some black women like you, oops. Can black men eat better? Yes. But stress, living in an anti-black society. No, look at that. Black men are speaking to Miss Leona about the stresses of being black men, and women like her minimizing it. Who needs white racist men when we can have women like Miss Leona? Huh? These men are telling you the weight of being black men, and you're telling them what weight. I'm successful. I don't know what you're talking about. Huh? Oh boy. In the comments she doesn't want marriage. Then what's the complaining about? Just be a perpetual dater, spinster, and just have fun. Just enjoy the dating scene, the ups and downs. What's the complaint about then? And once again, Detroit, thank you for that super chat. Thank you for that super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Why complain? Why put out this, nearly 20-minute long think piece? Was it 15, 16 something minute long think piece? For what? As I said before, way too many traumatized. I'm mad because the black men I find appealing and attractive are ignoring me or don't see me or would rather be with non-black women or with lighter skinned black women or even with darker skinned black women that are not me. And instead of me just coming to terms with that and maybe even putting out a think piece like that, I would rather defecate on them and do the you can't fire me because I quit. And that's what Miss Leona engaged in here. You can't fire me because I quit. And on the way out the door, I'm going to be talking crap about the manager. Miss Leona, you are one of a million black women who have engaged in this. We see this, and not even just black women. We see this amongst people writ large, women specifically, black women even more specifically. You can't fire me, I quit. And I'm going to break things on the way out the door and F the manager and F this assistant manager and F this team lead and F this boss. Miss Leona, this is very childish. I know Mr. Z is giggling because I giggle like a schoolgirl. This is very childish, ma'am. If you purport to be so independent, right? So self-reliant, right? Mouthy with an attitude, going to the gym, right? You don't find this childish? Do y'all see now why Mr. Z calls it temper tantrum behavior? Petulant child behavior? This is petulant child temper tantrum behavior that Miss Leona engaged in. Miss Leona, you think because you're independent and you paying your own bills? And she did that. She was like, these men will be like, I'm independent, paying my own bills. And then she did the clap thing. Ma'am, that's not what men do and say. What men are you? What black? Show me the black men. I dare you. Ma'am, my email, I will not expose these people. My email is in my description box. Show me the black men you dated. Show me their Facebook. Show me their Instagram that you dated that said that. That's not what men say. That's what women say. Show, ma'am, I promise you, there's not the most effeminate black man in the world. If he's straight, men don't talk like that. Black men don't talk like that. I know you lying. I'm gonna just call it out straight up. I don't believe you. I would say it to your face. I promise you, I would say it to your face. I don't believe you. Straight up. I'm independent. I pay my own bills. No man talks like that, madam. Not even the quote unquote effeminate black men you're referring to. I don't believe you. Straight up. I don't believe you. It's that simple. I just don't. Huh? And she does the clap thing. Like, good for you. You're paying your own bills. Madam, that's what we say to women, black women. I'm paying my own bills and I'm struggling like this and that. Ma'am, the problem here, Miss Leona, is that you're behind the 8 ball. Unfortunately for you, you're probably either an 80s or a 90s baby. Unfortunately for you, we have high speed internet now and easily accessible information and data. And you're just a bit too young to say what you're saying, and everyone can't debunk what you're saying in a matter of seconds. Unfortunately for you. It's that simple. You're just a bit too young. Right? Now if you were in your maybe even late 40s, but 50s, 60s, maybe you would get a pass. Still not, but maybe you would get a pass with this old, tired, easily dismissed rhetoric. But unfortunately for you, you're using these old, tired tropes and rhetoric that's so easily debunked, ma'am. Right? Once again, who needs racist white men when you have women like Miss Leona worldwide? But not neglect of Nixon? Check. Minimizing the plight of black men like everyone? Check. Right? Negative stereotypes about black men? Check. Lying on black men? Check. Taking jabs at and insulting black women on the low who date black men? Check. Once again, who needs racist white men or just anti-black anyone when you have a Miss Leona in your midst? Huh? A woman who can't be honest that she struggles with black men. It may be where she lives. It might be her, admittedly, her words, her mouthiness in her attitude, her bad attitude, her words, her words. Miss Leona, if you think that's just black men are too weak to deal with the opinionated, mouthy, attitudinal, right, sassy, snarky black women, why aren't you with the white man in America? A white American man. And a white American man that you hold to the exact same standards as black men. Why aren't you with a Latino American man, once again, that you hold to the same standards as black men? An indigenous man, if you could find them, that you hold to the same standards as black men. Why aren't you with one of those? You said you stopped dating black men back in what, 2019, 2021, something along those lines? It's been about 3 years, ma'am. What happened? You said you date for fun, so it shouldn't even matter, really. What's the end goal here, ma'am? Huh? Detroit also says, and thank you for the super chat again, Detroit. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Detroit says, Z, I'm about to have a jungle fever about these white women. They're smiling at me very like graciously, and plus that white woman got a big behind. I look, Mr. Z is all about black women. I prefer black women, right? Um, but I understand when you have the Miss Leonas of the black community, it's real difficult to tell other brothers to go down this road also. It's really difficult to tell other black men to follow along with Z when you have Yannies and Chrissies and Paris and Miss Leona and Ebony K. Williams and Lexus Exodus and Mahogany Pink and yeah, and Crystal and Karazin and oh boy, Mr. Z could do this forever. It's really difficult to say that, and especially when they're just factually inaccurate, just out there straight lying. And not even just a lie when maybe you could hide and we don't know yet, and there's some kind of like ambiguity about the facts or the history or the figures. No, so blatantly lying and then try to hide behind, oh well, this is my opinion or this is my observation. This is how I feel. This is what I've seen. Yawn. Thank you, better you that too. Why aren't you with the African man? But she already said, better you, she's sitting in her think piece straight out that she's mouthy with an attitude. She says she's not very easy. Her words. Huh? It's crazy that you're meeting these very antagonistic, difficult, like Miss Leona said, not easy to get along with, attitudinal, sassy women writ large, black women specifically, and then they get angry at the world that they're single or that they have difficulty dating or that men don't want to be around more than just to smash and dash. Madam, I'm going to be honest with you, Miss Leona. Much of the reason why you're running into the men that have given you these quote unquote excuses and these type of loser black men, you said you've dated about 10 of them and you keep on running into this, madam, shout out to Lion, this is what you qualify for. It's that's Miss Leona, you have to understand your money and your status are pluses to men. It's not the way you and other women writ large operate. Your money and your status are the pluses. Madam, you are insufferable by your own description. You are insufferable. And if you are insufferable, how do you expect to ever land a man worth a damn? Miss Leona, this is a real question for you. Not saying it's not impossible, because I do believe that people luck up every once in a while. People luck up. But for the most part, Miss Leona, think about what you're saying. I want to be a mean, snarky, rude, attitudinal, not very easy to get along with, mouthy black woman. On top of that, black women. We live in an anti-black world, right? And I agree with the Afro pessimist. The entire world is anti-black. We live in an anti-black world. You want to be a mouthy, attitudinal black woman on top of that. And then you wonder why you don't have a black man worth a damn, madam? That's why I brought up all of the non-black men. Ma'am, you're not going to land any man worth a damn. You better keep on dating those foreign men. Huh? Then, according to your other think piece, not only that, you want men to understand that they come behind women. What? Miss Leona, how does the math? Let's get into that. You said there is no life without XX chromosome. Agreed. Women are the incubators of children. Okay, cool. Madam, if you even listen, I'm going to cover it later on today or maybe tomorrow. If you even listen to yourself, madam, listen to yourself. So you're doing the earth, mother, queen, goddess, woman, black woman thing. While on this think piece, you are literally throwing an adult temper tantrum about black men. Madam, how does the math? Do you even appreciate what men hear? I didn't say black men, what men hear. I want to be insufferable. And I need a man that earns more than me, has more status than me to bow to me while I'm insufferable. Yeah, that's it. Let me know how it works for you. Right? And Spain Man says, I'm insufferable, but the problem is black men ain't ish. And that sums it up. Madam, that's what your think piece was. That is what your think piece was. Right? And shout out to, bro, you couldn't say it any better. You could, Spain Man, you could not have said it any better. That's it. That sums up her think piece. I'm insufferable. I know I am. And I'm going to take that off on black men. But let's be honest, miss, if you said you're in San Diego, less than 10% of the population of San Diego is black. That's the city. The county is like 5.5%. Madam, that means you got white men galore, non-black men, Latino men. You down the street from the border. The Mexican border is down the street. Why aren't you with a Latino or a white man worth a damn? Man, because no man worth a damn is gonna deal with that. You better keep on because Miss Leona. Maybe you lack a certain level of self-awareness. You date foreign men because you hope they can't read who you are, and too many American men can smell attitudinal black women. Not just black men. Too many American men can smell that. You're hoping to luck up on a foreign man who thinks it's attractive in the beginning, and by the time he realizes who you are, it's too late. Oops. Huh? It's too late. Madam, you are getting what you qualify for. It's that simple. Where is the wedding ring? Oh, you date for fun. Okay, yeah, that's it. Right? And to whoever asked her that and that was her response, I don't even know if that's true. I know I responded to it as if it's true earlier. I don't even know if that's true. I think she just threw that out there to do that ego protection crap. Once again, though, you can't fire me, I quit. When you said to her, you've been dating for 3 years, you've been dating foreign or non-black for 3 years, where's the wedding ring? She couldn't come to terms with none of that situation worked either. Because maybe she would have to look in the mirror and be like, oh crap, okay, I thought it was just black men. I dated a couple of white dudes. I thought it was just American men, but these foreign men ain't really going neither. Huh? And Jake Zero says, look at Queen of Kings. Look at Queen of Kingsy. They are clearly lying. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the I see she did the interview with Tasha K. I'm gonna watch it in a little bit. Right? Y'all might be getting a review of that soon also. Lion says another Ostefko. The problem with Ostefko is at least reflective enough. Right? That's the thing with Ostefko at least is honest enough. Oh, if Ostefko was, and I didn't say she was honest. I said she was honest enough to create a pre-privileged video and let you know. And she said in one of her think pieces a couple years ago that she's seen women that look just like her that are married to pretty okay black men. So this is, Ostefko is just maybe a bit too self-aware for her own good. And she was honest about how this is not really, this is a her issue more than it's just a black woman issue. Right? And that black men are an issue. Miss Leona don't got that in her. She don't got the ovaries to look in the mirror and be like, okay, this is a problem for men writ large. Men writ large are not signing up for this, especially not the men I find appealing and attractive. Huh? especially not the upperly mobile men, right? What these women are hoping to do is catch a Eve. They want to pull a Eve. What did Eve say? I'm a pit bull in the skirt. And then when she ended up with the rich ass white dude, he was the only one wild enough to tame me. You imagine a black woman saying a white man tamed her? Okay, fine. In other words, I want to be this wild ass, attitudinal, neck rolling, mean, snarky, sassy woman, and I need me a ballerific, rich ass man, probably white man, who finds all of that appealing and puts a ring on it. And I don't change an inch. That's the goal, isn't it? Huh? And Dell says, "Oh, ish, she in San Diego. She can't compete down there. It's notorious bad dating area for black women. Black women, and then add on to that, black women and a black woman that admits that she has a bad attitude and that she's mouthy. On top of that, huh? On top of that, huh? How does this work for you, Miss Leona?" And once again, Detroit, thank you for the super chat. Bruh, I can't tell you not to date the white women. I prefer black women. I'm not really into white women like that, right? But I definitely understand. I definitely understand, brother. I get it. Because the Miss Leonas of the world really don't make it easy to tell brothers, you know what, give sisters another chance. It's too, how can I say that? With a bunch of Leona worldwide running around the black community, a bunch of Cynthia G's running around the black community, a bunch of Chrissy's running around the black community, a bunch of Ebony K. Williams and Kim Foster's running around the black community. Huh? And once again, thank you, Detroit. And no one says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And no one says, wait a cotton picking minute. Did she say we still use the term the man? She is capping. Bro, like I said, like, all of this is just a white man mating call. She trying to appeal to whatever non-black man, I guess, foreign racist dude, right? Some racist Norwegian, some racist German guy, I guess some racist French or British guy that lives in America. That's all she's doing. This is the please come save me from Blackistan mating call. So Miss Me with all the, when she said on her channel, this is not a divestment. Stop. This is not about divesting, ma'am. I get it. You think black men are mouth breathing idiots. You pretty much expressed as much. I get it. You think black men have an IQ in the single digits. I get it. I get it. And that's why you speak this way. That's why you think you can lie to our faces and, quite frankly, lie to other non-black men, and people will listen to it and adhere to it and believe you. Huh? Huh. And exactly, you know what's crazy? I haven't heard the man in at least 20 years. I haven't, and the last time I probably think I heard it, it was like an older brother that said it on top of that. Probably Silent Jin, or maybe the oldest of boomers. The last time I heard somebody say the man. Like saying the man and not saying it ironically or like kind of mocking. Now we do still believe in this term, which is not just a black man thing, by the way, but fine. But the last time I heard the man had to be like 20 years ago. Like I said, it's it's the same thing for Chrissy. It's these weirdo outliers. They're just they grew up in a different environment, or like Cynthia G, like they have daddy issues. They're mad at black men because not only do they have daddy issues, but then they don't feel like they can truly like get and keep the type of black men they find attractive, which is essentially once again super attractive, physically attractive, tall, good looking, but also rich black men with a lot of status that demand nothing of her and that kisses her ass. Right? Like this is the goal. And what Miss Leona described essentially is patriarchy by feminist specifications. I don't want to hear anything about white supremacy and anti-blackness. I don't want to hear about your plight. You are just a tool for my enjoyment, for my protection and my provision, even though I can provide for myself and my independent. And I've been what she said, she's been independent since what, 22 or 19 or 18, whatever she said. Right? Like Dr. Richard Reeves, you got to appreciate this is what women are saying. FD signifier, foreign man in a foreign land. Y'all not bringing women to the deep end of the pool in the conversation. That's why y'all don't hear them say this. Y'all talk to them shallow as hell. Y'all let them get off the, well, black men are just jealous of my accomplishments, and black men are jealous, and black men are insecure, and men in general are just insecure when they see successful women. Men don't know what to do with successful men. Well, successful men. Sorry, let's do that again. Men don't know what to do with successful women. They're intimidated by successful women. Why are men so intimidated by successful women? Y'all not tired of that old trope yet? Because the second we start actually looking what's going on, all of the women are chasing and huddling around the hyper successful men. Average men are not intimidated by successful women. Successful women want all of the same dudes that all the women want. Y'all all want the same guys. That includes you, Miss Leona. Miss Leona did put out this whole entire think piece, and essentially it's her think piece boils down to where. That's what her think piece boils down to. Where? It's not fair. Why can't I be insufferable and still have black men kiss my ass? Huh? That's what this boils down to. Why can't I be successful, meet a black man who earns even more than me and is even more successful than me, and he kiss my ass? Mr. Z did not make it up out of nowhere when I said patriarchy by feminist specifications. And when I review her other video, y'all will see why Mr. Z says that. When you couple that other video I'm telling y'all about, where she pretty much says women are the be all end all of all of humanity, and there's an argument to be made about women giving birth to humanity, while also coupling this video, which she's saying is you Negroes not humble enough. Y'all too big for y'all bridges. And that's why she said when they meet me and they realize they can't pop ish, they're not the big ish. Grow up. You claim to be independent, but you're acting like a child. Because, ma'am, you are a child. You're just a child that pays your own bills. Oh. The weirdest group of people on the planet. They always get off on humbling others. They always want to humble others, primarily black men. Realize that they can't pop ish. What? How old are you? I don't date for marriage. I date for fun. Yawn. That's what you tell yourself? That's what makes you, that's what gets you to go to sleep at night? Okay, yeah, that's it. That's how you go to sleep at night. All right. Right? It's weirdo stuff. And Spainman says black women out here looking paranoid and now spiraling. Bro, this is Even if the young lady earns some good money, can provide for herself, etc., etc., this is spiraling, right? You've been dating how many different quote unquote foreign men for 3 years? That speaks to a lack of stability, but fine. So even if you're financially stable, what about that emotional state? Uh-oh. Right? You said you're not easy to get along with, or you're not very easy. Better yet, you're not very easy, right? You're not very easy. You have a bad attitude and you're mouthy. This is like Chrissy and Yanny. These people be telling you you can't tell them nothing. You can't say anything to them. And they say it with all the swag in the world. See, y'all can see Yanny face when she do it. Y'all can see Paris. Shout out to her husband. Y'all can see Paris' face when she does it. Y'all can see Miss Leona's face when she does it. Y'all can't see Chrissy's face, right? You cannot see Lexus X's face when she does it. But these women are all saying the same thing. You can see Cynthia G's face when she does it. You can see Kim Foster's face when she does it. It's all y'all ever seen. It's that black girl swag, and they go to swaying in their seat, and like I y'all don't understand how much Mr. Z hates using the term neck rolling because it is derogatory. It is a negative stereotype. It is, but they go neck rolling. Jesus Christ, they go to rolling their neck, and you literally it's frightening. It is truly frightening. They really start swaying in their seat, and they get the whole black girl B face thing going on with their facial expressions, the sassy girl face. You seen it on Kim Foster. Yeah, I'm saying her name. You seen it on Kim Foster. You seen it on Yanny. You seen it on Miss Leona. You seen it on Paris Milan. You seen it on Cynthia. What the hell? You even seen it on Crystal and Karazin. This is like a uniform. The you can't tell me nothing, I'm better than you type of thing. Y'all see it. But black men are made to believe we are the sexist, misogynistic, misogynist monsters. As Miss Leona was trying to do, black men, they always want to reign their authority on you. Ma'am, you said you are not very easy. You said you have a bad attitude and you're mouthy. Are you certain that you're misreading black men just having boundaries? Uh-oh. And limits, yikes, and standards? Uh-oh. Are you sure that you're not the one misreading that? And when I say black men, I'm speaking about the black men you like. The black men that you would date if you would date black men, but you said you don't, but fine. Ma'am, do you not understand how you yourself have regulated yourself to the black men you're complaining about? Huh? They're literally swag. Oh, all the black girl swag in the world. It's frightening. Look at her. Look at her face. And she just dropped every single anti-black man stereotype she could think of. No, I think they feminine. Right? Black men are not actually real men. They're not inherently men. And here it goes. Inherently men as compared to who, ma'am? And here come the mythical, magical white man coming up on the bottom of your screen. If you look at the bottom of your screen right now, there's a mythical, magical white man popping up from the bottom of your screen. I'm joking, right? And now he's going back down. Inherently man to who, ma'am? Compared to who? Uh-oh. Huh? I review these people just for what y'all see here. This is why Mr. Z does what he does. This is why Mr. Z does what he does. because we are told by the FD signifiers of the world that we're the ones being antagonistic. The foreign man in the foreign lands of the world call us nigcells. FD signifier says he built around us and made us obsolete. Yeah, that's it. Now, this young lady channel is tiny. She has even less views than Mr. Z does. But this sentiment right here, especially for outlier, weirdo, traumatized, daddy issue having black women who, and think about this. What Miss Leona expressed here is not too dissimilar to what we heard Ebony K. Williams say to Stephen A. Smith. Right? It's not too dissimilar to what we heard Ebony K. Williams say to Stephen A. Smith. What did Ebony K. Williams say to Stephen A. Smith, everyone? She knows what she has to do to pull certain men. It just ain't in her. What did she say to Charlemagne and to DJ Envy? She going to the south. She got invited to the south of France, and she was like, I got better stuff to do over here. And what Miss Leona is telling you, she has a bad attitude, and she's mouthy, and she's not very easy. In other words, I don't want to actually change me to get the type of men that I find that I find appealing. Let's say it again. I don't want to change to get the type of men that I find appealing. So what I will do is just try to date foreign men, because clearly American men got me pegged. No pun intended. Clearly American men have me pegged, and hopefully I'm still clear to you guys. I will be going through a dead zone in a minute, but okay, yeah. But American men could smell me, so yeah, I'm gonna try to date foreign men that find me spicy and eccentric, right? And different. And by the time they realize that I'm miserable and insufferable, it'll be too late. Right? And y'all gives you 1 second, y'all talk amongst yourselves. I'm about to go through a dead zone. And we're back. But yeah, so no, that's it's not smart. It's just what Miss Leona is engaging in, um, especially after knowing that she has daddy issues, and she said much of what informs her is her relationship with her father. Oh boy, right? It's her relationship with her father. I've said this before. Much of what black men are engaging with when they engage with women is childhood rejection trauma, daddy issues, and a whole lot of things that have nothing to do with you. And you are supposed to make a wife out of women like this. Now, Miss Leona said she cares not to be married. She's just in here for fun while she defecates on black men. Okay. Right? Huh. This is why I say I don't believe her and she's a liar. And this is her please come save me from Blackistan white zaddy mating call. While she says, this is not about being a divester, yawn. Using all of their same talking points, though. Right? They're using all of their same talking points. And once again, no one, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And yeah, I just think she's lying. I just think she's lying when she says the man. Right? As I said before, there's not much difference between her and a lot of content creators we've seen throughout the years. There's not a lot of difference between her and, once again, Jasmine Theodora. Both of them pretty much said, yo, I don't want to hear black men talk about black stuff. I don't want to hear black men be honest about the anti-blackness in the society. I just don't. I just don't want to hear it. Look, I'm doing well. I'm successful, and I just don't want to hear about the anti-blackness in the system. I think it's an excuse. I think you're weak. I think you're effeminate. Listening to black men talk about anti-blackness, it makes them look soft. Hey, who needs? Boy, America is one dope ass country. The West is one dope ass area of the planet. Got black women telling black men, "Oh yeah, I don't want to hear about black stuff." Oh, you gotta love it. What did Issa Rae say again? I don't know how Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson do it. I couldn't talk about race all day. And then there's Insecure. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, that's it. Oh man. Who needs white supremacy when you got black women like Miss Leona? Oh man. So Miss Theodora was what, mixed, very fair skinned black woman married to a white dude, telling you she didn't want to date black men because, you know, every time she looked at black men, she just see the struggle, right? She didn't want to hear black men talk about, anti-blackness. That's what Miss Jasmine Theodora said. Now Miss Leona is telling you, every time I talk to black men, they're talking about their struggle and their plight. Okay, all righty then. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. So remember, black women are the ones that are tired of people minimizing texturism, futurism, colorism, etc., etc. Meanwhile, they tell you, yeah, I don't want to hear about that anti-black stuff anymore. Right? Now, be a black man in public and tell a black woman, I don't want to hear about that colorism crap. Huh? Be a black man in public and tell a black woman, I just don't want to hear about that texturism, futurism crap. I don't think the Crown Act should have passed. Huh? Imagine that. But yet black women can just outright say, yeah, I don't believe that anti-blackness. And once again, weaponizing intersectionality to benign neglect black boys and black men and their plight, which, because the majority of black women end up with black men, directly affects black women. But, who's counting anyway, right? Now, that's something I forgot to mention. Let's bring that up. Ms. Jasmine Theodora at the end says to black women, am I telling you to not date black men? No, date black men. And essentially what she's saying is so you can experience why I don't. Date these loser ass black men, because first of all, if you're dating black men, you're probably a loser. You're probably one of those loser black women. I told you, they start off talking anti-black men. Eventually, they're just going to be anti-black people. They start off because it's so easy to be anti-black man. These black women start off talking anti-black man. But you let them talk long enough, and eventually we're going to get to anti-black people. Shout out to Simone Biles. Negroes was wishing, black women were wishing that her husband comes out of the closet as DL. Her husband is some type of physically abusive. That he cheats on her just so they can prove a point. See, we told you to leave him when we told you to leave him. You should have left him. Because how dare he not know who you are? How dare you be the one to initiate? Why is Mr. Z tying that into this? Miss Leona, excuse me. Miss Leona. You little women could date black men. You'll find out why I don't eventually. I'm better than them. Maybe y'all don't think y'all better than them, but I am. Huh? That's where we are with it. So we cover the Leonoa, right? Leona, I said Leonoa. Leona worldwide, because women like this, as small as your channel is, and shout out to y'all in the comments that said, yo, this channel gonna blow up, because y'all already know black women need to hear that anti-black man rhetoric, right? They need it. They need it for sustenance. Especially these black women online, especially the younger ones. Oh, they need it. Instead of being honest with themselves, this single stuff is lonely, and I can't get the black men that I want to bend to my will. So F black men forever. Instead of being honest why they're mad at black men, they'd rather just tell you, hey, these Negroes are immature. They're not on my level. I'm more successful than them. They're insecure. They're immature. Yawn. Right? They're insecure and immature. And I'm better than them anyway. Right? Man. So Miss Leona just showed you, once again, because we're going to continue to review videos like this, what an adult black woman temper tantrum looks like. Huh? Dismissive, mean, mean-spirited, snarky, rude, condescending, belittling, right? Factually inaccurate, false, wrong, all of it. That's what she engaged in here. Huh? That's what Miss Leona engaged in here. Instead of being honest with herself, the men I want don't want me, and I'm mad about it. And they've regulated me to men that I'm better than. I'm more educated than, I'm doing better than financially, and I'm tired of these men complaining about racism because I'm doing well and I'm a black woman. So I just don't believe you that anti-blackness and racism is the reason why you're not where I am or above. And so instead of her just saying that, here's all the insults. Right? Huh. And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And KMS says, so when we deduce it, do you do the okay. I am reading this wrong. So when we deduce it due to the rule, she's just an insufferable a-hole. The chronic track of 16 in effect once again. I mean, the way she was speaking about foreign men, this might be some trick behavior. Going to the song, by the way. This kind of, I kind of smell a bit of trick behavior. So I won't say that you're wrong, KMS, in that respect. So yeah, there might be some 304 behavior. There might be some trick behavior going on here. I will say this about women, black women like this have a very difficult time doing the social math and appreciating why they're in the position they're in. Not just with black men, but with men. Right? Not just with black men, but with men. And they struggle to admit to themselves, like, men don't have to deal with you. You can be Miss Leonora. If you ever come upon this, and if you listen this far, I seriously doubt it. You just have to come to terms with the men you want are not going to ever, even if they, okay, fine, you met a black man or any man that find you physically attractive. How many of them can deal with this you? Really? Wrong word, Z. Not can. How many of them will deal with this you? Not can deal with it. Not want to deal with it. How many of them will? A woman who admits that she has a bad attitude. A woman who admits that she is mouthy. A woman who admits that she is not very easy. How many of upwardly mobile men in America, white, black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise, are going to deal with that? And here's a better question for you, Miss Leona. The best question Mr. Z can ask you: why would they? Huh? Miss Leona, why would a 120, 150, 200, $250,000 a year man, black, white, Latino, Asian, or otherwise, why would he deal with you? Why would he be in a relationship with you? Why would he date you? Better yet, we don't even have to go all the way up to $120,000 a year. Why would an $80,000 a year man date you, Miss Leona? With what you've said about yourself, right? Why? Huh? So to what KMS is saying, this is very, very, and the way she sounded is very telling. Where are you meeting these foreign men, ma'am, who you're telling that you're mouthy and you have a bad attitude and you're not very easy, and y'all are, oh, wait a minute, that's why you don't got the wedding ring. Oops. That's why you said you're not dating for marriage, you're dating for fun. You can't fire me, I quit. I hear you. I hear you. Right? Yeah. See, it's really difficult. I bet you it's hell on wheels. It got to be hell having like an intervention for Miss Leona. I bet you it's hell. I bet you ain't nobody could tell Miss Leona nothing. Right? You can't have an intervention with a person like this. You can't have a conversation with someone like this because you can't pin them on anything. Right? They won't admit to nothing. They won't commit to anything. They won't stand on anything. Mr. Z, how did you get all of that from just this short video? Because she couldn't admit why she's single. Not just without a black man, without any man. When she went in those comments and read those comments and said to the brother, I don't date for marriage, I date for fun. That's it, everything you needed to know right there. It's not just that she doesn't date for marriage, she dates for fun. She couldn't admit that she's dating for someone that she likes, that likes her back, that she loves, that loves her back, and that pays for things. And instead of admitting that she's losing that game, she tells you she's dating for fun. Stop it. I'm just dating for the experiences. What are you, 21? I'm just dating for fun. I'm just dating to get out the house. What are you, 22 years old? No, ma'am. You would like something serious. You know you can't get it right now. Uh-oh, not the way you are. Yikes. And so you lie to yourself and lie to others. By the way, you guys, I don't mean to keep on blowing smoke up Steph Cole's rear end, but that's what makes her different than Miss Leona. That's what I'm saying. That's what makes her different. At least she had the ovaries to tell women to stop being obtuse about this relationship thing and them not caring. At least she had the ovaries to say it. Miss Leona is one that Miss Leona and her ilk are that Steph Cole was talking to. Because Miss Leona's over here acting like she's not bothered. Okay, Omarion. Unbothered ass Omarion. Okay, yeah, that's it. I don't care about black men, but I'm gonna make this whole entire think piece about why they're trash and dating them sucks. Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? Better use is I'm seeing Kamala picture VP looks like it's Tim Waltz. Okay, we'll do my research. We'll see. Right. So yeah, no, what I see here, look, this young lady is very emblematic of what I was arguing to FD is very, very commonplace in certain environments, in certain spaces, especially amongst upwardly mobile black women. That's when their fangs get to come out. That's when their anti-blackness gets to come out. And so what you find from these type of quote unquote independent, successful, kind of grew up in a different type of environment, daddy issue having black women is just a constant black men ain't ish diatribe. You get this from Amanda Seals, you get this from Ebony K. Williams, you get this from once again Miss Leona, etc., etc. Right? Cynthia G. Right now, definitely are there black women with involved fathers who speak like this? Yes, but the daddy issue ones, obviously, there's a special type of toxic, poisonous sludge that come out of their mouth. No pun intended. Right, and of course, right. And once again, KBS, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Y'all have to be mindful of these people. To all the younger brothers, you gotta be careful. As I said, I'm gonna review her think piece about essentially black women are the center of the universe, right? And women in general are the centers of the universe. And this is why we say social math. These women don't do the social math, and they just get mad at the world that the world is not bending to their will, and that men are not bending to the will, especially the men they find appealing. And that's what they're really angry about. I want to be very clear. Many of the Miss Leona worldwide, much of the reason they're angry is because the men that they find appealing just won't bow. Right? They just won't bow. And instead of them coming to terms with they're not going to find those type of men to bow, whether they're white, black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise, they throw a temper tantrum. And this is what a temper tantrum from an adult woman looks like. Right? This is what it looks like. So to all black men, particularly black men in the black manosphere, especially the younger ones, you got to look out for this. You got to pay attention to this. You got to listen out for this from women writ large. This is not just a black woman thing. Now, of course, she's singling out black men, but if her life was that great and she was that great, and other men weren't effeminate or feminized the way black men are, she would have had her a non-black man. She would have had her an American non-black man. What she's admitting by saying she only dates foreign men is that those white guys and those Latino guys in San Diego ain't checking for her either. That's what she's admitting. Now, will she try to do ego protection and not? And if she ever come across this and throw out, okay, you know, like, well, I went on a date with a white man and he wined and dined me. Yeah, she'll try to pull that. But when she says she only dates foreign men, that lets you know everything you needed to hear. Those dudes in San Diego, the white and Latino dudes, maybe some indigenous, I doubt it. But the white dudes, the Latino dudes, and the Asian dudes in San Diego ain't checking for her. That's what she admitted to you by saying foreign men in particular. She's getting more play from foreign men because foreign men just see a slim, chocolate black woman with way too much makeup on, right? And maybe they find her appealing enough, and maybe they try to do their version of Passport Bros and knock her off a bucket list. Yeah, well, when I went to America, there was this chocolate, and the sex was great, and it was wild, and all I had to do was spend a few $100s on a date, right? Gave her a few compliments, and yeah, best sex I ever had. Now let me go back to having boring sex with my boring ass white wife in the UK. Oh, they be thinking they have it all figured out, y'all. They swear they have it all figured out. Listen to just the racist bile just flowing out of her mouth. Once again, pause. Actually, no, don't pause. I was right. Racist bile flowing out of her mouth. Huh? So to all the people who speak about the black manosphere like we're exaggerating, we don't know what we're talking about, here you go. Well, her channel is tiny. How many other black women have y'all heard express these exact same sentiments, both in real life and online? Let me tell you why I don't date black men, right? I'm gonna tell you why I don't date black men, but I'm unbothered. Okay, yeah, that's it, Omarion. Huh? Wow. And Lion says, God forbid men have standards, and that's all it is, right? And once again, KMS, thank you for the super chat. And Split Jim says, and thank you for the super chat. Z, some of these females have this weirdo fake sass that seems they weren't taught it or raised in it, but saw it and mimicked it. Yeah. Well, once again, like these weirdo outliers, right? And they just do too much. They grow up in predominantly not black environments. And so they're the pretenders. And but remember what they say about pretenders. Those are the ones you really got to look out for because they have something to prove. The pretenders go even harder. They're even extra, right? They're even more extra. So I don't know if Miss Leona grew up in a traditionally black community or environment, but once again, she's in San Diego. So I'm not sure of how black the quote unquote black neighborhoods, or they like to say urban neighborhoods, are in San Diego. But once again, San Diego has less than 10% in the city and less than 6% in the county. When I saw it, I think it was like some 1 million and some change, right? 1.8 million. Huh. Yeah, that sucks. Huh. 81,231 as of 2022 in San Diego. I want to say the city of San Diego. That's no real. It's not a lot of people, y'all. 81,000 in the city. It's not a lot of people. It's really not. Huh? And we don't know where she was raised or born. Assuming she was raised and born in San Diego, it's not a lot of people, right? Huh? And Vegas Dev says San Diego. That explains the bitterness. She can't compete down there. You know, some of the sisters from LA, you hear them say this. That and they'll say the part where the brothers down here not checking and da 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 da. Maybe I need to move to Atlanta. You'll hear them say that, right? Maybe I need to move to Atlanta. Maybe I need to move to DC. Maybe I need to move to somewhere where black men like black women. And that's their way of like jabbing at the brothers in LA. Okay, cool. But they'll say something like that. Not Miss Leona, right? Not Miss Leona. She just kept on jabbing at black men, jabbing at black men, jabbing at black men, and took a good swipe at black women also. But of course, right? But of course, and Saint Cyr says, Z, one of my best friends is from Cola Vista, that's in San Diego. There's really not an all black area in San Diego. Oh boy. Dell says the urban areas in San Diego are Latino. Oh boy. Prime says, Prime VA says, brothers on the West Coast be happily married to non-black women, not caring what black women think. Well, right. Vincent, I am not going to read that out loud. That is hysterical. Vince, I am not going to. That's funny. That is funny. Right. I agree with this. And Prime VA says a lot of West Coast black women get tired of seeing black men happy with other races, so they come online to cry. A lot of them, I think you were saying, a lot of them are from Seattle and California. Yeah, yeah. Isn't Cynthia G from Washington State somewhere? From Seattle maybe? Right. And that speaks to something a lot. That speaks to what we're saying. And once again, a split Jim, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. That speaks to something. Right. And once again, like I will say when I was on the beach in Cali, yeah, I saw a lot of brothers walking with Latinas. If I'm gonna be honest, I saw a lot of brothers walking on the beach with Latinas. And to be honest with you, the sisters were not, let's just say, that attraction level. Ah, right. So yeah, that gotta be a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Right. And you see that where is that Pop the Balloon show held, right? Y'all remember the Nigerian sister trying to sperm jack the white baseball player, right? So I guess if you are a darker skinned, slim black woman who might have grew up a little different than average black people and around other black people on the West Coast, then your salvation is between white men's legs for the most part, maybe Latino men, maybe. And Michael Ross said, "Okay, Pop the Balloon show is in Arizona." Right. So your salvation as a darker skin, fit black woman is in between white men's legs because you would rather do that than maybe not be so insufferable to black men, not show your racist fangs, your anti-black male fangs, your anti-black misandry fangs to black men, right? And Chakra says, and thank you very much. I see 101 people in here and only 83 likes. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the super chat. We should have caught him earlier, Chakra, because at one point we went up to like 111, 115, something like that, right? Man, wow. And so I brought up the young lady from the Pop the Balloon show speaking about Miss Leona to say, like, this young lady clearly does not appreciate her experiences dating black men. Obviously, she described that. And she spoke, notice she did not speak highly of white men here, but in the backdrop was some other type of men that she's comparing black men to that help her to see and deem black men lacking. Okay. And so she speaks about foreign men. And when confronted about why she doesn't have a wedding ring from said foreign men, what does she say? I don't date for marriage fun. Well, there's a cost to that. And let me read some of these comments that y'all have from. And give me a second, actually. Let me. And once again, Split Jim, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And I agree that Miss Leona gave me vibes that she could have possibly grew up in a well, the brother said there ain't no black neighborhoods in San Diego like that. But she could have grew up, black family, pretty black situation. But it's giving not it's giving kind of black adjacent, right? It's giving I'm mad that I can't get the Negroes I find attractive and appealing, and I have a different type of upbringing and experience, and maybe that's why I can't connect with them. And this speaks to the young lady that I have in my my videos now that I put up a couple what is it, about a month now, where she was speaking on growing up and going to these white schools and how it causes you to kind of see black people a certain way, and it's difficult to date other black people because there's this thing in your mind about it. See, that young lady, when she was 28 years old, I think, she looks like she's trying to go do the work, and talking about do the work and try to be somewhat introspective. You don't get that from Miss Leona, right? You don't get that from her. Yeah. And so it was Mr. Me Too. It was Mr. Me Too that said, 3 years of dating, quote unquote, others. Are you engaged yet? And Miss Leona responded to Mr. Me Too at saying, no, I date for fun, not for marriage. Yeah. And Mr. Me Too responds back. Y'all give Z 1 second. Just want to make sure y'all can still hear me. And Mr. Me Too responds back, interesting. In my small squared circle, it's considered immoral and quite disrespectful for a woman to date for fun without being adequately compensated or guided. Be careful out there. Bruh, that is a good ass way. That is so. Shout out to Mr. Me Too. That is a smooth ass way to call her a 304. Oh, that's a smooth ass way to call. I don't even know if she caught that. Talking about somebody who's independent, right, and successful, Mr. Me Too. That is a I see what you did there, Mr. Me Too. That is a smooth ass way of calling her streetwalker. Not even a 304, because that's the one that goes uncompensated. That's a smooth ass way of calling her streetwalker. Shout out to Mr. Me Too. God damn, that was smooth. Oh man. Let's read that part again. And he said, in my small squared circle, it's considered immoral and quite disrespectful for a woman to date for fun without being adequately compensated or guided. Translation, chick, you don't have a pimp or anything. And you ain't being compensated. Oh, man. Vince, she is, you could tell. And Vince is, she is cantankerous. You could tell. You could tell. Yeah. Man. Good point. And Telescope says, in SoCal, dating out, quote unquote, dating out is an, of course, sort of thing, unless you're super poor, super inner city, or super pro black. Right? So, yeah. And y'all give Z 1 second. What else did I have here? Man, look, and I seen this comment from Dylan, and Dylan says, and this is once again in Miss Leona's comments, and Dylan out for the most part, and none of them are trying to get you to date them, but you still feel you need to make a video about how you don't want to date them, even though the issue doesn't even exist. Just say the other men of other races don't want you either, and that's who you're really mad at. You go to the gym every morning. I love this part. You go to the gym every morning and hardly see black men, as you say, right? And let's continue. You hardly see black men, as you say. So the other men see you. Why you not with them? 3 question marks. You're doing all of this projection, and we can tell you don't really be around many black women, let alone black men. I agree with that. Just say the white men don't want you and call it a day. We don't want you either. Oh man. Charles says ZPT talk. You would start this during my morning meetings, bruh. I was late as hell. I was late, Trail. Right. But as Dylan James said, like if and as y'all are saying, if y'all are to be believed, um, the brothers in SoCal ain't really checking for the sisters like that anyway, right? So what she's saying is essentially, it's not working with black men. Clearly, it's not working with non-black men from San Diego or in the San Diego area or in SoCal area. Um, so I'm dating foreign men, but I'm going to direct all of my angst and anger towards black men, right? Which would maybe speak to why she said this is not a divestment video, because she's not actually, at least directly in this video, worshiping white men per se. Now, I still call this a white man mating ritual, right? Because in the back of her head is someone is the standard bearer of quote unquote manhood and masculinity, and clearly she described it's not black men, right? It's not black men. So I would argue it is white men that she see as the ideal quote unquote man. And as she said, black men are not intrinsically man. When she opened that door, then you have to ask yourself, madam, who is intrinsically man? We're about to, if you want to go there, right, then we can go there about what manhood entails and who is intrinsically man and what do you mean by intrinsic, and is there an intrinsic man? If you want to go to nature versus nurture, we can do that, and we can go into Europeans and what they deem as manhood and what that came out of. If you want to go there, we could go there, Miss Leona. You ain't gonna like it, and you're not gonna like what it means about you when we get to the finish line of that. When we get to the end of that, right? Was it epistemology or whatever you call it? When we get to the end of that, you're not going to like what this means about you when you start speaking about intrinsic manhood and how black men are not intrinsically men and how black men are the lowest men. When you said the lowest men, I promise you, these people be using like eugenics ass language, and they really don't appreciate how close they get to like neo-Nazi type of rhetoric, right? Like all the negative aspects of Darwinism. Y'all really don't appreciate how close y'all get to it. Not even close, y'all be there. Forget close, right? Huh. So shout out to Dylan because I agree with this. Just say the other men of other races don't want you either. And that's who you're really mad at. And there you go. right? But she can't because then she would have to start looking in the mirror. Look, all of these people who tell you they've been dating, Chrissy does this too. They've been dating outside of their race for 5 and 10 years, and they tell you, "Well, I don't want to get married." This is all "you can't fire me because I quit" type of rhetoric. All this is I spend an inordinate amount of time talking crap about black men. I can never admit that my situation with non-black men is not much better, because then that would force me to maybe have to look in the mirror. Well, if black men ain't ish, and then these white men ain't ish, could it be me? Instead of doing that, they would much rather go eat vagina, and that's why they end up eating vagina. Hey, it could be me. It goes from black men ain't ish to either black people ain't ish or men ain't ish. And if men ain't ish, then maybe I start eating vagina. And if black people ain't ish, then the first non-black dude I can get my claws in, I insist that we move to the whitest or most non-black neighborhood humanly possible. That way I can wash myself of my sins, this black skin. Right? And once again, a split gym. Thank you for the super chat. And Kunguru says, and thank you for the super chat, Kunguru. Z, the hatred for black men by black women is real. My fiance's sister told her that I'll leave her. We all leave. Shaking my head. Oh wow. BGS ET AL helps me, or BGS AL helps me understand. And who else? Okay, yeah, I'm a little lost at the end, but I get what you're saying, right? Wow. So your sister-in-law essentially told your wife that eventually you will leave because all black men leave. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Once again, who needs white supremacy and anti-blackness when black women are literally telling black women this? This is that Simone Biles thing. And you notice how they cover for each other too, by the way. So we know it wasn't us speaking reckless about Gabby Douglas's hair. Show me the black men, especially the straight black men, that were the ones speaking reckless about Gabby Douglas's hair when she was competing in the Olympics years ago. You know what black women keep on saying online? Black people were talking negatively about her hair. So when they admit that somebody was talking negatively about Gabby Douglas's hair, they say black people. It wasn't black people, it was black women. And so they cover for each other they cover for each other by not admitting that it was not black people. It was black women talking reckless about Gabby Douglas's hair. It was black women hoping that something unfortunate happens between Simone Biles Owens and her husband Jonathan Owens. It was black women wishing that because Simone Biles wouldn't listen to them and divorce Jonathan Owens because Jonathan Owens didn't know who Simone Biles Owens was when he first met her. Huh? Black women are really out here doing seances and witchcraft and voodoo and okomi and all different type of weird ass voodoo-ish practices and worshiping African goddesses, all to destroy black men. Y'all are some weirdos. All to harm black men because the black men you think you deserve ain't checking for you. Or y'all went on a date or two and it just didn't go right. Right? Or you might have got smashed and dashed. Or you wish you would have got smashed and dashed. And so now y'all are wishing for the downfall of black men. Y'all are wishing for the downfall of black women who love them, their black man. Ooh, I love me some him. Y'all are wishing for the downfall of those sisters just so you could say, see, I told you so. Told you black men ain't. I told you he was secretly gay. I told you he was going to abuse her. I told you he was going to cheat on her, have a kid on her. I told you he was going to cheat on her and bring her a disease. Just so you can say that. You lonely, broken losers. You lonely, broken losers. That's frightening, Kanguru. Your own sister-in-law saying, "I'm telling you, he gonna cheat." They all cheat. They all leave. He gonna leave. I'm telling you, he gonna leave. They all leave. Telling you, he's gonna leave. The hell is wrong with these people, right? Wow. Yeah, I saw it. And Trell says they still saying that Simone needs to wear weave to find a new stylist. Once again, to Gabby Douglas, to Simone Biles Owens, y'all sisters did us proud. I still ain't hear nothing negative about y'all yet. I would love for Gabby Douglas to end up with a brother herself too. I don't think so, but I want both of them to be with black men and go and create great successful families and just sell out in the sunset and stop listening to these broken, bitter, loser, superficial ass black women. Because let's boil it down to this. The issue with the hair thing is, look, man, white women are watching. White women are watching. You can't. One strand of our hair can be out of place. I don't care if we're competing in the Olympics. White women are watching. We got to show white women that we're better than them. Insatiable inferiority complex here, y'all. White women are watching. And when you hear white women, read all non-black women, but especially obviously white women. We're so insecure about our hair and our makeup and our nose and our skin tone. You make sure you're lotioned up. Make sure not even one strand of your hair is out of place because white women are watching. White women are watching. White women are watching. Uh, right. That myth of white womanhood, boy. Hey, a black man could be nowhere in the conversation, nowhere in the goddamn city. Somehow we're gonna come up because once again, black men ain't ish in the myth of white womanhood. Right? That's crazy, Kanguru. Your own sister-in-law talking crap behind your back, unprovoked. Right? Unprovoked. So yeah. Yeah, the hatred and the talking crap about black men, yeah, no, it's real. It's real. And once again, black women are not doing the social math. This don't work for them in the long run. I keep on saying this does not work for black women in the long run. Huh? If black women aren't already the concubine class of America, they're going to make themselves that. It's just going to be a whole lot of Brewster's Place as black women and Golden Girls as black women in the next few decades. Now, but in the next few decades, they're making themselves that. You will be the weirdo, um, um, overly spiritual zealot ass group of people wishing death on people, right? Wishing death on people, being mean to people, extra aggressive and antagonistic to people, easily insulted while being very insulting, right? Condescending as hell. Miss Leona, I mean, the lady straight up admitted what her issues are and couldn't understand why she's single, right? Date for fun. Yeah, that's it. You can't fire me. I quit. Okay, yeah, that's it. Date for fun. Okay. We heard you. Right? Exactly. And Shrell says Nasic plus myth of white womanhood equal Miss Andre, right? And Nasic, for all of you that are uninitiated and don't know, Negroes ain't ish industrial complex, right? Brought to you by America, established in 1619, right? Really, it's brought to you by Europe, established in 1492. No, right? Negroes ain't ish industrial complex. Get your order today, right? So that's what Miss Leonora was engaging in. I'm not gonna go on too much longer, you guys. Thank you for listening in. Um, yeah, y'all look out for women like this. This is dangerous. Yeah, her channel is tiny. I agree. It could blow up, but that it's not a guarantee just because she's spewing anti-black misandry is gonna blow up. There's a number of women that are doing that. Some of them more talented than others. It's scary. I'm speaking about this way. And just because she spews this doesn't mean it will catch. It could catch, I'm saying, but it doesn't automatically mean that because so many of them are engaging in this. So there's that. Um, and yeah, right. So many women are engaging in this. Black women in particular are engaging in the anti-black misandry, and they're going to continue, right? Because this brings attention, this brings money, and to be frank with you, a lot of women resonate with this. Resonates to them. They're single. They're not happy. They're miserable. They're making good money, but it's not amounting to much. It's not getting them what they want, right? Patriarchy by feminist specifications. It's not getting them that. And so they commit to slander black men, black male slander, right? Character assassination. Does that change much in the way of how non-black women see black men? No. If they see black men negatively, does that change it? No. If they see black men as they're neutral on black men, does that change it? No. If they're positive about black men, does that change it? No. Y'all not around enough Latinas or not having the real conversations with them. Latinas and white women already know y'all gotta throw salt in the game. They're dear black women, black Latinas and white women already know that black women feel a way about black men being with Latinas and white women and Asian women. They know y'all gotta throw salt in the game. We're talking about American, born and raised American Asian women, American Latina women, American white women. They know y'all gotta throw salt in the game. They know it. You can make it seem like, oh, black men do it too. White men know that's not what black men are on. Dear black women, y'all are in y'all circles lying to yourselves. Once you step out of that, black women are God's gift to the universe, not even Earth, but the universe. Once y'all step out of that bubble, nobody, it just the real world. You get hit with the real world, where the lies you tell each other and the lies you tell each other, blowing smoke up each other ass, just doesn't do it anymore. It doesn't have the same effect, right? So, hey, shout out to Miss Leona. I see you. Thank you for telling us about your daddy issues, and thank you for being honest about the fact that you are like an attitudinal, right? Like not easy to get along with. And which, by the way, men here, not just black men here difficult. Um, thank you for being honest about the fact that you're difficult, right? You're mouthy, you're attitudinal, and you're not easy. Men are difficult. Thank you for being honest about the fact that you're difficult. That's all. We heard you. Thank you. Right. So there you go. Right. So on that note, everyone, we will pause right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all day. Um, I should be coming with a kind of a part two, but it's really I'm gonna be reviewing another one of her think pieces. Um, So I should be coming with a part two. Should be later on today, if not tomorrow. Um, I think Miss Leona, ma'am, I'm not. I don't even want to say therapy because too many black women are claiming therapy, and then they still sound absolutely insane. Um, but you do need to get some help, ma'am. Um, you might want to get a dating coach, a matchmaker. I don't actually look. These women that speak like this are way too invested in black men to actually have given up on black men. Understand what Mr. Z is saying. If she meet the right brother, she's going. If she meet the right black man, she's going. She's throwing a fit because she hasn't met him yet, and she might have met him, but he's not interested. That's what I mean by meeting the right one. Meeting the right one that's interested in her. And when I say interested in her, I mean overlooking the mouthiness and the attitude. The attitude. Have fun with that. I don't know how it's gonna work, but okay. But if she meet that dude, she going. She's going. Right. So on that note, y'all have a great rest of y'all day. And Mr. Z will pause right here. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. This went on way longer than I wanted it to go, but we had to speak on it because Miss Leona, to me, is very emblematic of a increasing trend, growing trend of Black women who use intersectionality to benign neglect Black men, to insult Black men, to minimize the plight of Black men and boys, Black people writ large, if you're going to be honest, but Black men in specific, and Black boys in specific, while also claiming to be the victims of Black men's ineptitude, um, being the victim of Black men's colorism, sexism, misogynoirism, featureism, texturism, Black men, as what's her face said, Joyanne Reed said, Black men's want to be white adjacent, whatever you need to say, to try to force us to vote for Kamala. The ones of us that said we ain't doing it, we're not doing it. So nice try, Miss Joyanne Reed, Mama Bear, yawn. Yeah. So these are these women, train tracks, and that's what Miss Leona engaged in. Yeah, no. So on that note, everyone, y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Once again, love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Mr. Z out. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out.